Are you still struggling with jumper's knee? You've been doing your isometrics, eccentrics, low resistance training, and you still are not ready to go back to basketball? Here is the missing piece, and that's the plyometric progression. So we're gonna go over today the different levels of plyometric progressions after you're doing your isometrics, eccentrics, low resistance training in order to ramp up to get back onto the basketball court pain-free. And the reason we have to add in plyometrics is that's the missing piece to add in that tendon elasticity and contract relax properties. So we're gonna go over the whole spectrum on how to slowly return back to basketball in it. But if you're still struggling with jumper's knee, we have an 8-week online Jumpers Knee Rehab Program that goes through the whole progression. But today we're just gonna go over the plyometric progression. Check the link in our description. We have the link for our program, but let's just jump into it. My name is Dr. Marco Lopez, Doctor of Physical Therapy and co-founder of the Basketball Doctors. All right guys, so we're gonna go over the plyometric progression for Jumpers Knee Rehab. So we're first gonna start off with a basic little pogo where our knees are gonna be straight and we're really gonna force the Achilles tendon, calf structure to do a lot of the work. And we're still getting some patellar tendon, but not as much. So here, as you can see, Gabe, he's pushing, his heels never hitting the ground. And I usually tell people, imagine the floor is lava and you're trying to get up off the floor as fast as possible. So you're just bouncing back and forth. And that is really gonna be focusing more on that straight-legged pogo. After we master that concept, if it's pain-free, you're doing well, then we start adding a little bit more of a knee bend. So now Gabe's gonna bend his knees a little bit more. As you can see, he's not gonna be as fast because he's adding more of a knee bend, but now we're adding in more of a force on the patellar tendon. And there's variations within this. So as you saw Gabe, he was bending his knees, but then we could also bend our knees more, but we're not gonna be as fast. As you see, he's taking longer time on the ground, but he's having a bigger jump because he's using more of his patellar tendon. But then we could go back to a slight knee bend. So here you see his knees are bending, but he's not jumping as high, but he's having a quicker ground reaction time. So that's the spectrum. Normally I like to program, we start off first with a slight knee bend, then progress to more of a knee bend. The final stage is more of a counter movement jump. So here, now we're really bending our knees and we're really loading everything up. So you see, now he's actually going into a squat. So now the less emphasis is focusing on getting off the ground as fast because now you're bending everything and exploding up. So that's the whole continuum of a plyometric progression for jumper's knee. So you first start off with ankle pops where you're just exploding off the ground, knees are straight, then you add a knee bend and you have more time on the ground, but you have more knee bend. Then you have a bigger contact time where you're going into a whole counter movement jumps. And now you're really stressing that patellar tendon because the overall goal is you're gonna be adding capacity to this tendon. That way when you go back onto the court, you can do all those movements pain-free. All right guys, hopefully you guys learned about the plyometric continuum progression after jumper's knee rehab. So remember, as I mentioned, you first have to be doing the early steps of jumper's knee, isometrics, eccentrics, low resistance training, then work your way up to that. If you are struggling with jumper's knee, check out our Jumpers Knee Rehab Program. It's a great program for anyone dealing with jumper's knee. Click the link in our description below. It's 8 weeks. And like I said, guys, resting and icing won't do anything for jumper's knee. You really have to start loading that knee. If you want to learn more about jumper's knee, check out this video. It goes over the foundations of what jumper's knee is and how to just start rehabbing it. But that's the progression. And if you guys have any questions, send us an email. But we are the Basketball Doctors. Let's ball for life. Hit the like and subscribe and share button and share this with friends and family.